A great philosopher once said, a man who has two watches is always in doubt, but a man who has a single watch knows what time it is. I'm a man, I have a single watch and I know what time it is. It is time for Focal Sports. The first edition of Focal Sports is live here on VNTV with me, Godwin Amatego. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, we'll be going around the world and come back to Ghana, bringing you the very latest of sporting events transpiring during the course of the week, as well as some weekend actions. Now, just some tidbits before we go for a short commercial break. Dreams FC, they are doing something special here in Ghana. They've unveiled their new mascot and also a new logo, giving us a different transition in terms of being professional as a football club, that notwithstanding. Also, during the course of the weekend, as on February 3rd and February 4th, we'll have the gala competition kicking off at the Parkway C Indum Sports Stadium, exactly in Elmina. That notwithstanding, also the transfer news. Yes, we do have some quick one there for you, and then some summary, especially some Ghanaian players who failed to make the switch from their various clubs in which they were. Unfortunately, Richmond Boakye Yadom was unable to move from Red Star Belgrade to FC Bordeaux in the French Ligue 1, but that notwithstanding, in Europe, you had major transfer deals over there. Olivier Giroud moving to Chelsea, and Pierre-Emerick Emiliano Francois Aubameyang, he joined Arsenal FC. All this and many more coming your way in the next 60 minutes. So, without much ado, let's go for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Officer, you give us office. Come here, you are saying officer. Gasop,
we are checking papers on this name. There is one certain guy who dropped someone food on that side.
But I'm not driving car.
You are not driving car.
Why haven't you been picking your calls?
I hope
What is this you're watching?
Check that thing.
Give it back!
Wait!
Give it
This
back!
is so funny. What program is this?
I'm watching Two Papas on VNTV.
VNTV?
Oh, come on, nice. Everybody knows about VNTV. VNTV is an online TV.
Wow.
Yes. You can log on to www.vnationtv.com and you're ready to go.
Just like that?
Just like that. And the interesting thing is that we have so many amazing programs you can watch. And the coolest thing about VNTV is that you get to watch it anywhere. You can watch it on your smart TV, you can watch it on your smartphone, you can watch it on your laptop, iPad, anywhere. It's that cool.
Wow.
Let me get my stuff so we can go.
Not too fast.
Why? I thought you wanted us to go to the mall.
Yes, that was then. But now, let us stay home and watch VNTV.
Are you serious?
Very, very serious.
I thought you were mad before.
That was before. Oh, who don't like a wolf?
Okay, so welcome back from that short commercial break, and then straight away let's delve into action. So with bated breath, let me delve into the camp of Dreams FC, the current Galka G8 champions. Yes, what news do we have over there? And then they are doing something out of their way, something very professional. Like for me, if you want the true definition, the proper physical representation of professionalism, that is Dreams FC. Yes, you could argue that we have traditional institutions in the likes of Accra Tofok, who were established in 1911. You could also argue that Kumasi and Asante Kotoko, they claim that they have the most supporters here in Ghana. I don't know about that. I don't know your point or your view on that particular one. But for me, I think that the physical representation, the epitome of professionalism here in Ghana is Dreams FC. There is no other club uncomparable, incontestable, that is Dreams FC. And then yesterday they were able to unveil their new mascot, and then the sort of name, the reportage they gave to that particular mascot, it was absolutely very beautiful. If you were there, I believe you would love to take a picture or two with Believer. That is the name given to the mascot, quote and unquote Believer. So if you're a fan of the Premier League, which will be kick-starting on February 11, then you need to throng to the Theatre of Dreams. No, you are not going to Old Trafford. You are going to Daewoo. That is the Theatre of Dreams. Then that is where you are going to see the believer himself, and then believer would like to take pictures with you. Believer would like to give you some goodies as well. So if I were to be you, I would like to go to the way and forget about the Accra Sports Stadium, the Owak Sports Stadium, the Techiman Park, and then those other stadiums. Well, it might sound a little bit controversial, but that notwithstanding, I think they are the most professional club here in Ghana. So that's notwithstanding, that is not the only thing they did at the M Plaza Hotel. Yes, that is where they were able to unveil their mascot. They also unveiled a professional logo, a logo that looked reminiscent of the club that they are, a professional one in itself. Now, they had a previous logo, yes, but that one didn't befit the status of Dreams FC. Yes, they say dream big, and I think that they are dreaming in an enormous, gigantic way that, yes, it might even bust your brains. Yes, that is what Dreams FC is doing. And then that is what they've done with their logo. It is absolutely very, very beautiful. It looks very modernized. And then everything about Dreams FC is encapsulated in that logo. You know, logo gives you a proper identification. And like VNTV or V Nation TV, you realize that our logo gives us that beautiful look. That is what Dreams FC did to their logo, and that is what they'll be using in the current or the upcoming Ghana Premier League. And also, that is not the only thing they did at the M Plaza Hotel. Yes, they did a host of other stuff. They renewed their contract with Paradise Park Mineral Water, and then it might sound a little bit familiar with you because Paradise Park Mineral Water is owned by our very own Dr. Asamoah. No, I'm not talking about someone with a doctorate degree. No, I'm talking about the captain of the senior national team, the striker of Kayserispor, the former player of Sunderland, the former player of Al Ain. Yes, the all-time top scorer of Ghana, Asamoah. Yes, he is the owner of Paradise Park Mineral Water, and his absence is senior brother or his elder brother, that is Bafo, former player of the Black Stars. He was there to sign the contract, and then absolutely it is an year extension because they were there with Dreams FC when they were playing in the GN Division 1 league back last season. But this time around, they have received promotion, and then to add to their promotion, they've also won a trophy in the off-season, winning the Galka G8 tournament, shocking every single club. Now, going to that tournament, you expect the likes of Adriana Stars, with all the stars they were parading over there. You expect them to deliver some goods over there, but they surprised and shocked everyone. Kumasi Asante Kotoko themselves, they felt the dream. They lost by a goal to nil. So clearly, it gives us an indication that Dreams FC are in for a surprise, and then we should all take notice of that. Well, for me, I wish to support Dreams FC. I don't know about you. I'm not saying I want to support. I wish to support Dreams FC. Like they say, if wishes were horses, beggars will ride. I'm not saying I'm a beggar. No, I'm just wishing that I might support Dreams FC because whatever they are doing, it is so beautiful, so nice, it is so attractive and alluring. You will always want to support such a club that is Dreams FC. And then, as if that was not enough, they've also signed a contract with M Vision Entertainment. You know, football is not only about being serious and getting the 3 points. Football is entertainment, so they are marrying sports plus entertainment. So anytime you get to the Theatre of Dreams or you get to Dewu, you'll be very much entertained, and that is what they are doing over there at the Theatre of Dreams. So away from Dreams FC, and we do still in club football and a gala competition that it is returning to our space once again. I'm sure you might have missed the gala competition back in the days where it used to be played, and the last time the gala competition was held in Ghana was back in 2005, where Kumasi Asante Kotoko, the club of the century, the fabulous team, the Porcupine Warriors, they were able to annex that particular trophy. Ever since then, that trophy has gone into oblivion, but this time around it has been rejuvenated. It has been brought back by the current GFA, and then that is what you want to expect over them. And that tournament will be held at the Park Kwesi Indom Sports Stadium in far away Cape Coast, to be specific, Elmina. So that is what you want to expect over them. And then that is not going to take the traditional format of football, because football, as you and I would agree, you know, it is a stated fact, categorical fact. You can't run away from that. Football is played for 90 minutes. No two ways about that. But for the gala competition, since it's a gala competition, is played for just 20 minutes for the first half and then 20 minutes for the second stanza. So that is what we might be expecting at the Parkwesi Indian Sports Stadium, where 16 teams, both Premiership teams as well as Division 1 clubs, have been given invitation. They've accepted the invitation to play in the tournament, and you will see the likes of Tishiman 11 Wonders playing against New Edibiase in the first game. Then in the second game, Dwarfs will be locking us against Inter Allies. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they will be playing against Elmina Sharks, and in fact that is the home grounds of Elmina Sharks. Just maybe they might try to bully Kumasi Asante Kotoko. I don't know about that. I don't know your point on that particular one. But Midiama SC, they will be playing against Brecum Chelsea. Yes, Midiama SC against Brecum Chelsea. And then after that game, they will take a short break before they will continue with Vision FC alongside Wa All Stars. And Wa All Stars, they are one-time champions of the Ghana Premier League, as well as one-time champions of the Champion of Champions here in Ghana, that is the Ghana Super Cup. So expect some exploits from Wa All Stars. And then Accra Arts of Folk in the Accra Derby, they will playing against Accra Great Olympics, Oli Gbogbo, Oli Machine, Oli Juliju, Oli V Nation, Oli Kokonsa Gist, Oli Focal Sports, Oli everything. They will playing against Accra. So yes, that is their nickname. That is a team with a lot of plaudits, lots of credit, and lots of encomium. That is Accra Great Olympics. And then away from that game, they will play Bechem United. They'll be locking us against Wamnafo Nia Salamina. And then finally, Samatex will play against Dreams FC. Yes, that is the team to look out for. Dreams FC. They parade the likes of Eric Gawuga Tete, and they have an Iniesta in their team. That is James Wiafi. So expect some fireworks from Dreams FC as they play against Samatex. And then noteworthy to note is that each team for appearing in that competition will be taking home $2,500. I wish I was a club so that I will go and then take that $2,500. But unfortunately, I'm not a club. I'm just a single man, like I said earlier in the presentation. And then the winner at the end of everything, at the end of the proceedings, will take home $3,000. Still with some news here in the local scene, and then not necessarily on the local scene, but Ghanaians applying their trade in abroad, and where you have the likes of Andre Dede, Rami Morgan, are you moving in the transfer market? That is what we want to see, because to be frank, in a francophone country, Andre Dede Ayew, the vice captain of the senior national team, it was to some extent more than a liability to David Moyes, because he didn't really play much, or he didn't give much of his wonderful works he did for Swansea City, because back in the 2015-2016 season, it was absolutely explosive for Swansea City. But unfortunately, when he transferred from Swansea to West Ham United in his first game against Chelsea, where Chelsea defeated them by 2-1, he suffered an injury which has blighted his career at West Ham United. But hopefully this £18 million sterling move to Swansea City will reignite his career, because back in his days at Ale Avignon, at Olympique de Marseille, it was explosive. So you expect Dede Ayew to be back in action, back in order, and that is what you want to see from Dede Ayew, picking up the rhythm, getting into the groove, delivering the goods for Ghana as a country, and also for Swansea City. Mind you, he's going to reunite with his younger brother, that is Jordan P. Ayew. And then, to be frank, I must admit that Jordan Ayew has been the talisman for Swansea City. Anytime that it gets into the groove, you realize that Swansea City, they do something positive. Anytime it gets marked out of the game, Swansea City tends to struggle. And then, that notwithstanding, their game against Arsenal, where they crashed Arsenal by 3-1, Jordan Ayew was instrumental in that game. And then, if you have Dede Ayew alongside Jordan Ayew in the game, you expect some wonderful works from one Ayew to another Ayew. Are you ready for some action from Swansea City? Enough on that. We'll be touching base with Aziz Tete. Yes, Abdul Aziz Tete is not quite a known figure or a popular name in the annals of football here in Ghana, but that notwithstanding, is still a Ghanaian. So we have our tabs on him, and then he was able to make a move from the Polish league, that is, to be specific, Lech Poznan, to Dynamo Moscow. And then that is what you expect. It's going to bolster their midfield, because Dynamo Moscow are not lying in a pretty position at all. in the ongoing Russian Premier League. So you expect Abdul Aziz Tete to provide some skill in the middle, and that is what you expect from Abdul Aziz Tete, because he's known for that. He has a penchant for providing skill. He has that provision, that abundance in physique and quality. And then he has everything a midfielder would love to have in the game of football. That is what Abdul Aziz Tete possesses as a midfield enforcer, or a centro campista, that is in Italian. Also, left back, enterprising, exciting, give him the accolades that you want to give him. Lumo Agbenyonu, he has joined Sporting Lisbon. Yes, to some extent you say that Sporting Lisbon, they've lost their way. They are a sleeping giant in European football, because back in the days they used to be a powerhouse, an institution, a cathedral in European football, but they've lost their way. But that notwithstanding, they are still a powerhouse in the Portuguese Premiership, because you realize that aside the likes of FC Porto and Benfica, the other name that you count for is Sporting Lisbon. And Sporting Lisbon, they have a penchant for identifying talent. Then if you want me to give you that particular one, let's count back to the likes of Luis Figo, who played for Sporting Lisbon. Yes, I know you might be surprised, but Luis Figo featured for Sporting Lisbon. And also the number 28 shirted man who now wears the 7th shirt for Real Madrid. Yes, Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro El Comandante, the commander himself. Yes, he played for Sporting Lisbon. And of course, if you have Lumo Agbenyonu going to play for Sporting Lisbon, in no time at all, he might be joining one of the biggest clubs in Europe, because if Luis Figo joined Barcelona from Sporting Lisbon, and then Cristiano Ronaldo joined Manchester United from Sporting Lisbon, maybe, who knows, he might be joining Manchester City, or maybe a Paris Saint-Germain, who knows, because it's an exciting left back, and that is what you want from a modern left back, the ability to move up and down on that particular flank, to join the attack, provide the in-swinging as well as the out-swinging crosses, and then is adept at doing that. And that is what you want Lumo Agbenyonu to do for you as a left back. He can also be deployed as a left wing back because of his attacking instincts. Away from Ghanaian players who are applying their trade in Europe and also making the moves around their various clubs, we also touch base with Black Maidens. Yes, their senior counterparts, that's the Black Princesses, last week secured a spot in the World Cup, that's the France 2018, which will be played later on in the year, defeating their opponents in the shape of Cameroon by 3-0 with the likes of Princella Adobia. Absolutely, that lady is amazing. She's a very prolific striker, if you ask me on that particular note. And then they managed to secure a spot for Ghana in the 2018 edition of the World Cup, that's for the under 20 level. Now everything is on the shoulders of the Black Maidens to make sure that they replicate the same form of the Black Princess. As they go against Djibouti, they need to win that particular game, and if they fail to win, they can come back to Ghana and also secure a favorable scoreline. But the most important thing is to make sure that the job is over and done with after 90 minutes in Djibouti. And they traveled from Ghana to Djibouti on Tuesday, and the match is supposed to be played on Saturday afternoon instead. That is today. So you expect the Black Maidens to be lining up in action. In their previous game, should I tell you the scoreline? They won by 7-1. Yes, a whooping 7-1. It's not cricket, don't get it twisted. It's not basketball as well, it's not netball, it is football. They defeated their opponents by 7-1 with their captain Abdullahi Mukarama scoring 4 goals. How do you qualify that? Because if you score 2 goals, it is called a brace. If you score 3 goals in a game of football, it is called a hat-trick. But 4 goals in a single game, maybe you can call it a 4th trick, a quad trick, anything at all. She scored 4 goals and she's capable of doing that. And then let me tell you one other thing that Abdullahi Mukarama did. Now, during the course of this year, she managed to score 7 goals in a single game. Yes, she scored 7 goals whilst UDS defeated Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, my alma mater. Yes, they defeated them by 7-1 in the Busa games, and then she claimed lots of goals. Well, that is what you expect from Abdullahi Mukarama, because Abdullahi Mukarama is synonymous to goals. Anytime you mention the name Abdullahi Mukarama, she is supposed to score goals for you. And then expect some fireworks from the Black Maidens as they play against Djibouti. So away from Abdullahi Mukarama, and we focus on the teams or the players that Coach Evans Adote made sure they will be playing for the Black Maidens as they come up against their opponents, Djibouti. So quickly, let me run you through the names. Grace Banwa, she made up the list, as well as Cynthia Findip, and Tedina Seshe, Adams Alasan, Ya Ejiwa, Nina Noshi. She has a name present. Nina Noshi herself, she's a very good prolific striker as well, so she can get goals for Ghana if Abdullahi Mukarama has been tagged by the opponents. Justin Trinibua, she has a name here. Azuma Bugiri, as well as Jacqueline Yeboah. Doris Bwedua, she's present over here, so you expect some fireworks from our ladies. Fusena Mumuni, I like that name very well. And then Ama B Apia, yes, Ama B Apia. Susie Didite, she's also present. She's repping live. Abigail Tutua, she's also there. Milot Pokua, she's available. Berikisu A. Rahman, she's available. And then Abdullahi Mukarama herself, the captain, the stalwart, the skipper, she's present in the list. And then anytime she's in this list, you expect some fireworks from the Ghanaian point of view, because she is synonymous to goals, like I said earlier. And then if she's present in the team, you could count not less than 3 goals from the Black Maidens. So over there, as they play against Djibouti, I'm expecting a landslide victory, although it's an away fixture. And then we need to give all due respect to Djibouti, but to be frank, in a francophone country, we are talking about the Black Maidens, and then they are an institution, they are a cathedral when it comes to female football at that level. Let's get back to the European scene and get some action over there, but we are not going anywhere. We're starting off in the French League 1. Yes, a league full of talents, a league full of very promising talents. Yes, then let's start off over there. So on Friday, Marseille against Metz, obviously is going to be an easy encounter for Marseille. Pair the league standings if you are going to use that as a barometer. And then on Saturday, Lille against Paris Saint-Germain, that is today at 4 p.m. Amiens against Saint-Etienne. And then Montpellier against Angers. OGC Nice against Toulouse. Strasbourg against Bordeaux. Troyes will be locking us against Dijon on Sunday. Rennes will welcome Guingamp at their stadium at 2 p.m. Cayenne will play as host against Nantes. And Olympique Lyonnais, they'll be traveling all the way to Stade Louis Day, the municipality club that is AS Monaco, to lock once against them at 8 p.m. That is going to be the top liner in the French Ligue 1. It's going to be very exciting, mouth-watering, because both teams parade very good, potent attacking threats over them. If you're going to do the SWOT analysis of the team, the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunities and the threats provided by both clubs, you could argue that they are quite at par. Yes, because for AS Monaco as a club, after selling the likes of Bernardo Silva, Montavega, De Carvalho, Kylian Mbappe, Lotin, Tiamu Bakayoko, they have failed to deliver the goods, because mind you, they are the defending champions of the French Ligue 1. So defending champions are supposed to do something better, something proper, because they are not lying in a very good position. They've lost even second position, they've lost third position. So it's quite worrisome for AS Monaco to be in such a position. But that notwithstanding, it is to some extent agreeable and understandable that after losing such key notable faces in your team, you are supposed to struggle, you are bound to struggle. So ceteris paribus, all things being equal, Monaco against Olympique Lyonnais, let's expect fireworks over there. But that notwithstanding, Olympique Lyonnais themselves have not fared that badly at all, because for a side that have been able to stop Paris Saint-Germain, one of the few sides that were able to secure victories against Paris Saint-Germain is Olympique Lyonnais. And then looking at the threats they pose up front, they have a very mean and menacing attack, because up front leading the lines is Mariano Diaz, formerly of Real Madrid, and also on the flanks you have the likes of Bertrand Traoré, formerly of Chelsea, formerly of Ajax, as well as Memphis Depay, the Manchester United flop, the former PSV Eindhoven favorite boy over them, and also playing in the hole behind the striker. I'm talking about the trequartista role, I'm talking about the number 10 role, the attacking playmaking role. Yes, if you're talking about the playmaking role, the likes of Kaká, Edison Arantes, do Nascimento comes into mind. Pele, we talk about a host of other players who have played as the number 10 before. So if Nabil Fekir was so explosive as a number 10 player who has the ability to combine skill, style, finesse with goals, then definitely you know that it comes with lots of danger. That is Nabil Fekir for you. So I think it's going to be very exciting. I still think AS Monaco, the worst result for them is going to be a draw in that particular encounter. To the league standings, and then Paris Saint-Germain, they are lying pretty on top with 59 points, and then Olympique Lyon, they are in second position with 48 points. Marseille in third position with 48 points. They are par with Lyon, although Lyon has a better goal advantage against Marseille. Monaco are in fourth position with 47 points, so they are just 1 point away from getting to the clubs ahead of them to the bottom three. Mind you, the French Ligue 1 is made up of 20 teams over there, so expect Troyes. Yes, they are coming from the Ligue B. Yes, so the first division of the French League football. So Troyes, Toulouse, and then Metz, they are in the bottom three. Metz lying very poorly in such a position with only 18 points in the top scorers chart. And then your guess is as good as mine. Edison Roberto Cavani Gomez, the Matador himself, is playing for Paris Saint-Germain after eclipsing the results and in the record of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Yes, he's still leading the log with 21 points. That is quite a huge achievement for a player of his sort. Then Neymar da Silva Santos Jr., Mugi Daquize, the former Barcelona player, is doing some wonderful works over there at Paris Saint-Germain. And he has directly been involved in 29 goals for Paris Saint-Germain. After scoring 17 goals, he has contributed with 11 assists as well. So that is very prolific on the part of Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. And also, it's quite a little bit coincidental because all these three players are coming from nowhere but South America, because the third in terms of getting to the top scorers chart is Radamel Falcao Garcia Zarate. El Tigre himself, the Tiger, yes, is on this list with 16 goals. So enough of the French Ligue 1. Let's take a transit from France to Germany, and then let's delve into the very exciting German Bundesliga, the most watched, the most attended league in Europe. Yes, the top 5 leagues in Europe. And starting off, Cologne played against Dortmund on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Freiburg against Bayer Leverkusen at 2:30 p.m. today. Mainz 05 against Bayern München. Schalke 04, Schalke 04 against Werder Bremen. Wolfsburg against Stuttgart. Mönchengladbach against RB Leipzig at the Borussia Park. And then Augsburg against Frankfurt at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday. And then Hamburger SV against Hannover 96. Now, if you want to do a little bit of a dissection in the German Bundesliga, you do realize that it is a one-horse race. It's a one-way traffic in the German Bundesliga, because aside Bayern München, there's no other club that really inspires confidence or evokes fear in any team at all, because Bayern Munich have struck the fear of God in every team they've played against. Ever since Jupp Heynckes took over the reins as the interim manager of Bayern Munich, he has been very explosive. The only blip they suffered was against Borussia Mönchengladbach, so they have been very, very excellent. So if Bayern Munich is coming up against Mainz 05, with all due respect to Mainz 05, but it will take a arduous task for Mainz 05 to secure victory against Bayern Munich. For me, I think it's going to be a hurricane of a miracle for Bayern Munich to lose such an encounter. So I think it's going to be a straight win for Bayern Munich. And the biggest and top liner in the German Bundesliga during this weekend is going to be Mönchengladbach against RB Leipzig. Both teams have had quite surprising in terms of churning out proper results, because for RB Leipzig, get to a certain point in time, they look very explosive, very good, but at the point in time, they become very erratic. They have not been managed to produce consistent results. It got to a point in time last season, we thought they were going to go on a Leicester City run, as in win the German Bundesliga, but they tapered off. They lacked elasticity, they lacked durability, and this time around it's quite reminiscent in their team, because they are not really pushing far, they are not really hitting hard, they are not really punching hard, which you expect of RB Leipzig. Although they are a new team, yes, you can forgive them on that particular note, but with all the promises that they gave to us last year, it's not far-fetched to expect much from RB Leipzig. But Mönchengladbach themselves, well, Thorgan Hazard has been very, very prolific and very strong for his side. He has been very instrumental to their success, and anything that Borussia Mönchengladbach does positively, you expect Thorgan Hazard to be part and parcel of that particular result. And then, well, for Borussia Mönchengladbach playing at their favorite Borussia Park, where they were able to defeat Bayern Munich, well, I think if we put 2-2 together, I think Borussia Mönchengladbach will be able to get the favorable results against RB Leipzig. Quickly to the league standings, and then Bayern Munich, after 20 games, they have 50 points. Leverkusen with 34 points. Like I said earlier, it's a one-horse race over them. Schalke 04, Schalke 04, 34 points. And then Frankfurt, Kevin Prince Boateng's Frankfurt, they are in 4th position with 33 points. And then the German Bundesliga is made up of 18 teams, unlike the English Premier League, which is made up of 20 clubs. So Bremen are in 16th position with 17 points, and Hamburger SV in 17th position with 16 points, and FC Cologne, the shocking team over there is FC Cologne, because for last season, if you are using that as a barometer to judge them, they've really disappointed, because for a club that were able to get to the Champions League places or European places and they fail catastrophically and drop to the drop zone, into the extent that they are lying at the bottom, they are carrying all 17 clubs, which is very palpable on the part of FC Cologne. After losing Anthony Mbu Agogo Modeste, they should have invested the money very well and very wisely. But, well, that is football for you. Sometimes it gets bad, sometimes it goes well for you. So they need to take it as it is to the top scorers chart. And in the German Bundesliga, or in Germany, it is known as a Trofeo Torjägerkrone. Yes, Trofeo Torjägerkrone. So that is what they call it over them. But we here, since we are an Anglophone country, we will remain simple and very simplistic and refer to that as the top scorers chart. So Lewandowski, the Polish goal wizard, he has 18 goals, and Pierre-Emerick Emiliano Francois Aubameyang, the bad boy, he has 13 goals. Yes, I really meant what I said, because they are really giving Borussia Dortmund some bit of headache during the summer and also in the winter transfer. And Finn Bogason, he has 11 goals to savor off. So away from the German Bundesliga, quickly to the very tactical Italian Serie A. I get excited anytime that we get into the Italian Serie A. Why? Because it is the league that produces most of the tactical brains. If you want arguably the very best brains in football, you could go to the Italy domain and get very proper names. The likes of Giovanni Trapattoni is a product of the Italian Serie A. Even Antonio Conte, who is doing exploits with Chelsea, yes, last season was superb in the English Premiership, and he came from the Italian Serie A. Carlo Ancelotti, the name goes on and on. Mauricio Sarri of late with Napoli, Max Allegri, one of the top-notch coaches. So that is why I get excited, because when it comes to the Italian Serie A, to a larger extent, they've lost a lot of quality, but the coaches, they are thinking, and that is what you expect. The thinking capacity, they are using their medulla oblongata. Yes. So on Saturday, Sampdoria at 5 p.m. they will be playing against Torino. Inter Milan against Crotone at 7:45. Hellas Verona against AS Roma at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Atalanta Bergamasca against Chievo Verona at 2 p.m. Bologna will be playing against Fiorentina. Cagliari against Spal 2013 at 2 p.m. Juventus against Sassuolo at the Allianz Arena. Udinese Calcio against AC Milan at the Stadio Friuli. Benevento Calcio, they will be playing against Napoli, SSC Napoli at 7:45 p.m. And on Monday, Lazio will be playing against Genoa. Well, for the Italian Serie A, you know, it has been very, very exciting. Initially, it used to be a one-horse race where Juventus dominated, and they've been dominating for the past 6 seasons. They want to make it 7 on the trot, which is going to be very, very difficult. Why am I saying that? Because at this material moment in time, Napoli are lying on top of the league standings with 57 points after 22 games. Juventus follows you with 56 points as well. And Lazio also have 46 points in 3rd position. But Inter Milan, well, when the season started, they look very pretty, they look very good, very exciting going forward, and they were grinding results when the time needed to do that. But this time around, they have been extremely erratic with their performance. They're losing matches they are not supposed to lose, drawing matches they are not supposed to draw. In the last encounter they played against Spal 2013, well, after taking a 1-0 lead, you will expect Luciano Spalletti's side to maintain their momentum, at least get 1, 2, 3 goals. Because if you have Mauro Icardi, one of the most prolific strikers in the Italian Serie A, or even in world football, if you have Marcelo Brozovic, if you have Ivan Perisic himself in the team, you are supposed to be delivering the goods. But, well, your guess is as good as mine, as they tend to suffer. But this time around, Inter against Crotone, you expect Inter Milan, especially when they are playing at the Stadio Giuseppe Meazza San Siro Stadium, to come out good against Crotone Calcio. And Atalanta Bergamusca against Chievo Verona, I'm expecting a win for Atalanta Bergamusca. Juventus against Sassuolo, well, that is going to be an easy chop, a cool chop. Or what do you think? Juventus against Sassuolo, well, I think Juventus will be able to get a win over there, because if you have the likes of Douglas Costa, Gonzalo Gerardo Pipita Higuain leading the lines, if you have Mauricio Mandzukic in your team, if you have Paulo Bruno, Ezequiel Dybala, La Joya in the team, that team is supposed to be producing goals. If you have Guillermo Cuadrado on the bench, definitely that team has no option than to produce goals. And if you are producing goals, automatically you are supposed to be winning match, because if you are going to the defense of Juventus, they have a solid backline: Barzagli, Mehdi Benatia, Lichtsteiner. You could also make mention of our very own Kojo Asamoah, who has been deployed as a left wing back, as well as Alex Lobosandro Silva. All these players in the team of Juventus, well, that is quality for me in my eyes. So I think they'll be able to defeat Sassuolo Calcio. And then the biggest match we played on Monday, Lazio against Genoa, the Biancolestis. Well, you know, for Lazio as a football club, you know, I thought they were supposed to be challenging for something proper here, because they have a very good side, no two ways about that. Although they lost Lucas Biglia to AC Milan, but they have been very, very good this time around, because if you have a midfield made up of Milinkovic, Savic, you go up front, they have Ciro Immobile, the top marksman in the Italian Serie A. There and then you could know that that is quality for you. And Marco Parolo is in this team, so definitely there is no far fetched to say that Lazio have a very good and proper team. Genoa themselves, well, they've been quite erratic and eclectic in terms of their performance and the results they've been churning, so you can forgive them on that particular. But playing at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome, expect Lazio to defeat their opponents. So to the top scorers chart in the Scudetto, yes, the Scudetto is the same as the Italian Serie A. And then Ciro Immobile is leading with 20 goals, Mauro Icardi with 18 goals, and good old Fabio Quagliarella, he has 16 goals over there. So clearly it gives us an indication that some old players, they have the penchant of not growing old. Yes, the older they get, the better they get at doing whatever they do over there. To the Spanish La Liga Santander, the very exciting league, the league of many talents, the league of Ballon d'Or winners, because if you have Ronaldo, if you have Messi over them, Figo at a point in time played for Barcelona and also Real Madrid. If you have Rivaldo playing in the La Liga as well, all those players, the ex-Ballon d'Or winners. So that is the league of Ballon d'Or winners. If you want to win Ballon d'Or, you are supposed to play in the Liga Santander. I know that the Neymar fans and Neymar faithfuls will not be happy with what I said, but that is the gospel truth. To the matches that will be transpiring in the La Liga: Real Sociedad against Deportivo La Corona. Eibar will be playing against Sevilla at 12 p.m. tomorrow. Real Betis against Villarreal at 3:15 p.m. Deportivo Alaves against Celta de Vigo at 5:30 p.m. Levante will be playing against inform high-scoring Real Madrid at 7:45 p.m. on Saturday. And on Sunday, Getafe will be playing against Leganes at 11 a.m. Espanyol against Barcelona. So that is going to be the Catalan derby. Will Espanyol be able to make sure that they put a blip in the inform run of Barcelona? Well, your guess, like I always say, is as good as mine. Although they were able to stage a win in the Copa del Rey, will they be able to repeat that same feat? Well, yes, like I said, Girona against Bilbao at 5:30 p.m. Atletico de Madrid at the Estadio Wanda Metropolitano will be welcoming Valencia at 7:45 p.m. And Las Palmas on Monday, struggling Las Palmas will be playing against devastated Malaga at 8 p.m. To the league standings, and Barcelona, after 21 games, have 57 points. Atletico de Madrid, after 21 games, have 46 points. Valencia follows suit with 40 points. And Real Madrid, shockingly, although they have a minus game, an outstanding game to play, they still have 38 points, which is quite shocking for a club of Real Madrid stature and pedigree. To the bottom three, Deportivo La Coruña, they used to be a powerhouse back in the late 90s and in the early 2000s, where they used to qualify for the Champions League. But this time around, they've fallen from grace and then they have not been delivering the goods. And then no wonder they are struggling over them. Las Palmas, well, they've managed to move themselves from the 20th spot to 19th spot. Well, it's quite a tortoise kind of move, but well, it is quite encouraging on that particular note. Malaga themselves have 13 points to save off. And then in the Trofeo Pichichi, that's the top scorers chart in the Liga Santander, well, it's the usual suspects. Lionel Andres Messi, Kudicini, Lapolga, Atomica, Enano, El Distinto. Yes, the distinct one himself, Lionel Andres Messi. He has 20 goals to save up. Luis Alberto Suarez Diaz, El Pistolero, the Pistol, 16 goals. And Iago Aspas of Celta de Vigo, 14 goals to save up. So the Spanish La Liga is getting exciting over them. And the biggest game, Atletico Madrid against Valencia. That is going to be the biggest game overall in that particular league matches on match day 22 for me, if you ask me. Because for Atletico Madrid, ever since Diego da Silva Costa, the governor, the bull, who went to Atletico Madrid, they've looked quite good. They look quite pretty, especially in their attack. Because Antoine Griezmann, the French international, he has been quite explosive. He has rediscovered his goal scoring boots and giving them some goals. And then Fernando El Nino Torres, the wonder kid, is still delivering the goods. He's still as evergreen as he used to be back in the days. And also the Ghanaian international Thomas Partey. Yes, Partey is still in the fold of Atletico Madrid, delivering the goods for them. And if you have Partey in the team, obviously I can't support Valencia. I need to be patriotic. Our president told us to be citizens and not spectators, so I need to be a citizen. I need to support Atletico Madrid. But Valencia, they don't have a bad team at all, because if you have Santiago Mina in your team, if you have Rodrigo in your team, Simone Zaza, the Zaza dancer, yes, if you have all those players in your team, they are supposed to be delivering the goods. If you have Gaia Montoya in the team, if you have Pareo in your team, if you have Jeffrey Kondogbia in your team, the guy who was able to score an outrageous own goal in the off-season, all these players in your team, come on, you are supposed to do something proper. But, well, the Ghanaian power, the African power, Thomas Partey will be able to deliver the victory for Atletico Madrid as they come up against Valencia. To the EPL, yes, the very exciting, the most exciting league in the world. In Europe, in Africa, mention it, it's everywhere. Everyone loves the Premiership. I'm sure you like and you love the English Premiership. Yes. Then on Saturday, Burnley against Manchester City. Would there be any shocker over there? I don't think so. For Manchester City, well, they look like a side that they've won the league already. To be frank with you, I think Manchester City have already clinched the league title. It's only going to take a miracle for any club at all to outstage Manchester City, because for a club that score goals for fun, a club that grind out results when they need to be, a team that has the alpha and omega in the shape of Raheem Shaquille Sterling. Because Sterling is the same player who scores very early goals in the season for them, and also when the need be, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, Sterling rises to the occasion for them. So I think it's good to qualify him as the alpha and omega. I'm not saying that in the spiritual terms, I'm saying that in the football annals. And then Bournemouth will be playing against Stoke City at 3 p.m. Brighton and Hove Albion against West Ham United. And Leicester City at the King Power Stadium will welcome Dede Ayew and his younger brother Jordan Ayew. It's going to be a battle of Ghanaian players, Daniel Amate Zidane against Jordan Ayew and Dede Ayew. Well, I'm torn between supporting either of the sides, but any win that comes out of this game, I'll be okay with that. But I will prefer Swansea City to win this game and move out of the relegation zone, because it will be quite unfortunate to have two sweet-scented Ghanaian players in the same team, Swansea City, to be losing out and going on relegation. It won't be that neat and attractive at all. So expect Swansea City. For me, my bet will be on Swansea City to win against Leicester, although it's going to be a very, very tough call, because Jamie Vardy is in some rich vein of goal scoring form. Likewise, Riyad Mahrez, the creator, the tormentor, the chief catalyst for their goals, their assists, everything. You expect Riyad Mahrez to be in action as well. In Manchester United at the Old Trafford, they were playing against Huddersfield Town. Manchester United, Alejandro Sanchez Tocopila, born in Chile, El Nino Maravilla, the wonder kid, will be making his debut at Old Trafford. And although in his first two games played at Yeovil Town, and then he managed to secure the man of the match, and Manchester United won by 4 goals. And in the second game he played against Tottenham Hotspur, where Manchester United were bruised and battered They were totally outclassed in the game. For me, from my point of view, because I didn't really see the value of Alexis Sanchez in the team. Maybe he can redeem his image against Huddersfield Town as they come up on match day 26 in the English Premier League. And West Bromwich Albion, they'll be sitting at the Hawthorns and welcome Southampton over them at 3 p.m. And Arsenal, the Gunners, they'll be playing against Everton at 5:30 p.m. Theophilus Walcott will be returning to the Emirates. Will he be able to score a goal against his opponents, his former paymasters? And then Crystal Palace on Sunday, they will be playing against Newcastle United. Once again, two Ghanaians going to meet each other in such a beautiful encounter at the Selhurst Park at 2:15 p.m. Jeffrey Schlupp for Crystal Palace, as well as Christian Achutra-Sam for Newcastle United. I don't really know the team to support in this game, because both clubs they've seen some sort of an upturn in form, but Newcastle, they have been quite unpredictable. At one point in time, you expect Newcastle to win their matches, and next moment they are losing, they are drawing, they are not doing quite well. But Crystal Palace, absolutely phenomenal at the Selhurst Park, and it will take a huge and a brave person to go against Crystal Palace when they are playing in front of their favorite crowd at the Selhurst Park. And Liverpool against Tottenham Hotspur at 4:30 p.m. That is going to be the top line, the cracker of them all. Now Liverpool will have revenge on their minds. Do you remember back in 2017 where Liverpool, they lost by 4-1 at the Wembley Sports Stadium? Yes, they were totally disgraced, annihilated, and torn into pieces. They were torn into shreds, irreparable pieces, I mean, by Tottenham Hotspur, losing by 4-1. And this time around, they need to have their revenge. Liverpool against Tottenham Hotspur, Mohamed Salah Ghali, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, Vera Barbosa, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, James Milner, in the same team, Jorginho Wijnaldum, Emre Can, Jordan Henderson, if it's possible that he might be fit to play in this game. All these players in the team. You have Virgil van Dijk, the most expensive centre back, the most expensive defender in the history of football, who will be featuring in that game. Joel Matip, the Cameroonian international. Dejan Lovren will also be available for selection. And then on the left flank, you have Alberto Moreno also available. And also Andrew Robertson. But for me, I would prefer Andrew Robertson if you want to be on the safer side, because Alberto Moreno is more or less like a time bomb. Yes, forgive me for saying that, but that is the gospel truth. And then also on Monday, Watford against Chelsea. Well, it's a little bit funny for Chelsea at this material moment, because ever since Antonio Conte got into that mix-up with Jose Mourinho, he has found it extremely difficult to record proper wins or get a good consistent form of victories, because last week was the only victory he was able to chalk against Brighton and Hove Albion in 2018, which is very, very, very poor on the part of Chelsea, and the standard he has set for himself as a manager. So against Watford, you expect Antonio Conte's charges to deliver the goods against their opponents, because he has no option than to deliver the goods, because if he fails to win, they are gradually moving out of proportion, they are moving out of order, because at the point in time their target was to win the Premiership. The next target for them was to get to second position. This time around, they are losing their third spot. If they don't take care, they will be booted out of the top 4 positions, which is going to be very, very worrying for Chelsea. If you're a supporter of Chelsea, well, it's going to be worrying for me. I'm not a Chelsea fan, so I don't really mind if Chelsea should lose that game. But I know the Chelsea fans are vociferous here in Ghana, so they'll know. Forgive me if I should say that. So you expect Chelsea to do very well against Watford at 8 p.m. And then to the league standings, like I said earlier, Manchester City, they've made this race quite uninspiring and unattractive, because they are leading the league with 15 points. Come on, this is the Premiership we are talking about. It's supposed to be competitive, it's supposed to be cagey. That is what you expect from the English Premier League. Manchester United are in second position with 53 points, Liverpool in third position with 50 points, and Chelsea, surprisingly, shockingly, they were trashed by Bournemouth during the course of the week at Stamford Bridge. So it's quite worrying at this material. Although maybe Olivier Giroud might rescue them from their doldrums at this material moment. And then to the bottom 3, Southampton have 23 points. Southampton of all teams, very, very, very shocking. Swansea City, maybe the inclusion of the DIU in the team might propel Swansea City out of that particular position. West Bromwich Albion in 20th position. To the top scorers chart, and Harry Edward Kane, 21 goals. And then Mohamed Salah Ghali has 19 goals. Sergio Leonel Kun Aguero Del Castillo, he has 17 goals to silver finally, yes, finally, it's about to go down. Yes, and then the done deals for the transfer market in the winter transfer. We do have some interesting names over here. I'm sure maybe you might be abreast with the players that have made their moves here and there. Philippe Coutinho Korea, he joined Barcelona from Liverpool in this winter transfer for a fee of 120 million euros over there. And then Virgil van Dijk joined Liverpool from Southampton for 84.5 million euros. If you convert that to pounds sterling, that's 75 million pounds. Then Diego da Silva Costa, the Bull, the governor, he joined Atletico Madrid from Chelsea for 66 million pounds. Then Aymeric Laporte, he joined Manchester City for 65 million euros. Now for Manchester City, what exactly are they building over there? Because they purchased John Stones at a whooping outrageous amount of money, Benjamin Mendy at an outrageous money, Kyle Walker at 50 million pounds sterling. Now you've brought in Aymeric Laporte. What exactly is Pep Guardiola up to? Well, like I always say, your guess is as good as mine. And Pierre-Emerick Emiliano Francois Aubameyang, I don't know why the big clubs failed to purchase him. It's been long overdue because Aubameyang, for a player who has been able to score 98 goals ever since he joined the German Bundesliga, that is the definition of prolificness, if you ask me. A player who was able to score 31 goals in 31 matches in last season's German Bundesliga speaks volumes of his ability to convert chances and then his ability to be tagged as the fox in the box type of striker, because the 98 goals he scored in German Bundesliga, 97 of those goals were in the box. So clearly, if you have such a player and then you are playing the ball through the channels, obviously Aubameyang will be able to deliver the goods for you. Then Lucas Moura, this is one player that back in the days when I used to watch him on YouTube, you realize that he had lots of potentials, the ability to burst on the wings and ability to play as a winger, ability to play as a trequartista or a playmaker. Yeah, he was also ambidextrous, strong, energetic, agile. All these qualities, to some extent, it is going waste. And Lucas Moura needs to get his career back in shape. He will be joining Tottenham Hotspur and then probably might be playing against Liverpool during the course of the weekend. He joined them for 28.87 million pounds. And Theophilus Walcott, he joined Everton for 22.6 million euros instead. And then Olivier Giroud, the tall, lanky striker from Arsenal. Now he has scored the most headed goals in the Premiership ever since he joined in 2012 with 27 goals over there. So Chelsea have had themselves a very good striker. He scored 105 goals in all competitions for Arsenal. So for a player who has been able to score 105 goals ever since 2012, yes, that is quite prolific for his efforts over there. And then looking at how Chelsea plays, especially with the service that Azpilicueta has been providing for Alvaro Morata, if he's able to provide such efforts, obviously you can trust Olivier Giroud with his potent head to provide goals over there. And also Ross Barkley, he joined Chelsea for 16.9 million euros to Chelsea. And then Yerry Mina joined Barcelona for 11.8 million euros. Marc Bartra, player that looked so good and had promising future back in the days playing for Barcelona. He joined Borussia Dortmund. We thought his career was going to be on an upward trajectory, but he has failed to deliver the goods. Maybe you could say that his career was blighted by injuries, but he has been able to join Real Betis for 10.5 million pounds. And Joaquim Mangala, yes, Mangala himself, the defender, one of the top-notch defenders when he was moving from Valencia to Manchester City. But ever since Pep Guardiola came, it was clear, the writings were on the wall that he was not going to get a permanent place in that particular spot. And he has joined Everton on loan. And then Islam Slimani, the Dragon Slayer, also on loan at Newcastle United. Maybe Christian Achutra will be linking up with him, connecting with him, providing him with some assist over there, and then probably might be able to make his debut during the course of the weekend. So on that particular note, the first edition of Focal Sports comes to an end. On this particular note, my name is Godwin Niamatego, and I have an unwavering passion for sports. Focal Sports, the powerhouse of sports.